In this video, we're going to go over how to record sales in a case. So for this scenario, we've already scheduled our case. So if you still need to schedule your case, go check out our video on how to do that. But we're just going to enter the relevant event by clicking on it. And the next step is to click the three dots, the ellipse button at the bottom right corner, and click Mark Used Inventory. So here we're recording the sales, the devices that are actually getting used in the case. So what's popping up here is a bunch of different filters that I can use to search for the inventory that's getting used. You can even tap on the icon in the search field to scan a barcode if you have one available, and pull that up as long as the data is stored in that inventory record. You can filter by expiration date, really any of the product information that's relevant to the device. Search and filter for it so you can pull up the devices relevant to the case. And then start clicking select on these devices that are being used in the case, and they'll start getting added to your selection. Here you can see you can modify the quantities on the items you've selected using the plus and minus buttons. You can even click into the field and type in the quantity that was used. Click on the red X to remove an item. But once you think you have all the devices that were used in the case, click Mark as Used. And those devices will be added to the case. You can see now we're no longer on the Details tab, we're on the Devices Used tab. So you can always return to the Details tab right here and click that button to mark more used inventory. But in the Devices Used tab, then you'll want to come in here and expand each row and review its data to make sure everything is right. For instance, is this the right unit price? Your unit pricing, if your manufacturer has entered facility contract pricing, will automatically populate corresponding to the facility where you're doing the case and the catalog number of the item being used. However, if you need to update or override pricing, hit the pencil icon, which will allow you to modify some of the data for this device, such as its usage status, its unit price, whether it's single use or reusable. And if for some reason you need to mark an item as no charge, you can do that, which will zero it out. Just hit save, and those details will be saved to this case. You can also add additional cost adjustments if relevant. Maybe it's a rental fee, maybe whatever different fees you may have to apply. These will show up on the sales order, but they will not be registered as sales in ConnectSx. So they can be invoiced for, but when you are calculating commissions, these additional cost adjustments will not be included in that calculation. Just hit the little check mark to make sure that that additional cost adjustment's been added. So if all of the details look right and all the inventory that's been used has been marked, then it's time to submit the case for billing. So click the bottom menu here with the three dots and hit Submit for Billing. It'll ask for a signature of the representative, which is me. So I'll type in my name here. This is the only required step, but you can also sign, with your finger here. This will show up on the sales order. And if you have access to, one of the representatives from the surgical suite, you can get them to enter their signature here as well. And then hit Submit for Billing, which will move the case from an open status to a pending PO status. So essentially, the case has now been closed, and it's our job to share the sales order and enter the PO to move this case through the billing process. So come back and check out our next video on the case workflow to figure out how to share the sales order.